a chaotic and terrifying situation as people ran for their lives just a few blocks behind me. Now, we have team coverage tonight. ABC 10's Giacomo Luca has been talking to city officials, the mayor of Sacramento, the police chief as well. ABC 10's Kevin John is at the Golden One Center, where tonight the Kings are also making a statement against this shooting, and they're playing the Warriors tonight, Chris.
ABC 10's Ananda Rochita is learning more about the victims in this tragedy. But we start with ABC 10's Van Tu live at the scene with more on exactly what happened, Van.
Well, Chris, tonight the coroner's office is working to notify and identify those 6 people killed, notifying their next of kin tonight. So 6 people killed in this mass shooting and 12 others injured by a hail of rapid gunfire that erupted around 2 this morning off of K Street, the nightlife corridor here. I'm here along 10th and L Street, where a small but growing memorial of candles have been set up just yards away from the crime scene. So just now you are looking down 10th Street, where you can see several dozen evidence markers. A security guard working overnight tells me he was at a vantage point where he could count them, 46 in total, many of them indicating a shell casing. So really giving you a sense of how much gunfire had erupted in those early morning hours. Above those evidence markers, you can also see large windows shattered. That is a window for the offices of a magazine. Now, here at the end of this crime scene investigation, several family members and even survivors with visible injuries have been showing up here waiting for answers, and they have asked for privacy. But what we do know, beyond the number of people hurt or killed, police believe there are multiple shooters involved, and they have also stolen at least one stolen firearm. They are also processing through several videos like the one Madison had mentioned before. They are combing through those, and they have even set up a QR code that leads to what they are calling an evidence portal. There were hundreds of visitors in this downtown area, so they are asking people to scan this QR code. It will direct you to this evidence portal where you can upload any photos or videos if you're in this area. They are asking for any even if it seems small, any little bit could help investigators here. Meanwhile, a vigil is planned for this evening at 7 p.m. on the corner of 7th Street and K Streets. This is being hosted by the bar and restaurant industry folks. They wanted a safe place for community members to gather, as really our entire community is still reeling and processing so many emotions tonight. Back to you.
Van, thank you. And I'm just standing only a block away from where you are on a different side on 9th and K Streets, a different vantage point tonight. Our ABC 10 Giacomo Luca has been talking to city officials and the mayor, the police chief all day, trying to get the very latest information. Giacomo, you're joining us now live outside of City Hall, where a victim assistance center has been set up tonight. Giacomo, what's the latest?
Madison, here at City Hall is where folks have been asked to go if they believe they may have a family member or loved one, a friend that was involved in this shooting, potentially injured or even killed. Obviously, many folks are wanting to know right now whether or not they have a loved one that may have been involved, and so this was the place to go. It does appear that City Hall is closed at this point, but that will likely be another place to go tomorrow for those people. Meanwhile, we're going to go over to what we learned from the press conference that happened around 3 o'clock inside the city's main police station. We heard from Police Chief Kathy Lester, who provided a very brief update, not a whole lot of information coming out in terms of new details that we didn't have from earlier this morning. But what she did tell us is she said that it was 3 men, 3 women, all adults who were killed in this incident. She also notified us that it was 12 people shot that are also in the hospital. And we also heard from Sacramento's mayor as well as Chief Lester. Let's take in a listen to what they had to say.
Violence that just happened in our city is unprecedented during my 27 years here at the Sacramento Police Department. We are shocked and heartbroken by this tragedy, but we are also resolved as an agency to find those responsible and to secure justice for the victims and their families.
We must all take stock and ask ourselves, what can we do different? What can we do better to not ensure this will never happen again, because that's impossible, but to do everything we can to minimize the chance that we will stand here like this on a Sunday afternoon, mourning the deaths of innocent people and mourning their families.
So many families impacted by this tragedy here in downtown Sacramento tonight. That was Mayor Darrell Steinberg denouncing the senseless tragedy that we saw this evening, also calling gun violence a sickness in this country that he said must be addressed, or there's a possibility, a likelihood that many, many more lives will be taken. Behind him, you saw a number of community activists, and they were all there in support of the city as they go through this process. Those are many of the folks involved oftentimes in helping to prevent these tragedies. Chris?
Our Giacomo Luca live at City Hall tonight, where there is a Victims Assistance Center that has been set up. Giacomo, we thank you. We have crews all across the region covering this breaking news tonight. And Madison, I know you actually had a chance to speak to people who tell you they had to run for their lives as those shots started.
Run for their lives and also help many of their friends who were hit by gunfire. We know that there are 12 people in the hospital right now, many of them with different ranges of injuries from this shooting. One of them spoke with me and said that he had to help his friend who was bleeding. Someone gave him gloves to put on, and he put pressure on that wound until an ambulance arrived. A chaotic, a tragic, a terrifying situation in the heart of downtown Sacramento. We're also hearing from many of the family members of the 6 victims. Again, we know 3 men, 3 women. As of right now, ABC 10 has confirmed 2 of those names who have lost their lives in this tragedy. We want to go to ABC 10's Ananda Rochita now, who's been working to get more information about the victims in this senseless shooting. Ananda.
And Madison, like you mentioned, so far we know the identities of 2 people who were killed in this shooting. Some of their family members stopped by the area where it happened early this morning. Tavazier Turner was 29 years old. He lived in Vacaville, but is from Sacramento. He was also a father. Sergio Harris was a father and a husband. He was 38 years old. Earlier today, we spoke with his family. His mother told us she feels as if she's still in a dream. She describes her son as always smiling. Sergio's wife, Leticia, said she had to go to work all day on Saturday, and Sergio spent his last day alive with his kid during the day. They went to the mall and a park.
He loved his kids. He was a happy person. That's for sure. He just loved living life and trying to make a difference, making a mark on himself, you know, being better.
Wife told us Sergio had 3 children. We'll have more from our interview with Sergio's mother later tonight at 6:30. We are still trying to learn more about the other victims from this shooting. We know there is a lot of information out there circulating online, and we are still confirming the other names of the victims. Chris?
Still very early in the investigation, but our thoughts are with all the families impacted by this tragedy. We should tell you the nightclub right next to this mass shooting released a statement tonight. Take a look. They say, "We at London Sacramento are praying for the families of the victims that were impacted by the incident that occurred near 10th and K Street. As we continue to process this horrific act, we would like to emphasize that each night, London Sacramento enforces strict security protocols and begins closing procedures at 1:30 a.m. While this incident occurred a block away, we will continue to make ourselves available to the Sacramento Police Department and provide any information we can during this investigation. Our prayers are with the affected families, and we continue to grieve with the Sacramento community." Now, we also have a statement from the El Santo nightclub that many of the victims attended last night. According to their social media, they had a full house, and their statement reads, "We are devastated and at a loss for words on the mass shooting in downtown Sacramento. Thankfully, our staff is safe. Our condolences to the family and friends of those who have lost their lives. May they rest in peace." Meanwhile, the pop duo Ally and AJ, who performed at the Crest Theater last night, tweeted a statement about the shooting. They say they are distraught by the mass shooting last night outside the venue in Sacramento. all of our thoughts are with the families of those who lost their lives and those recovering today. We are praying for the healthcare workers caring for them, and we hope all our fans made it home safe. And Monica, yet another busy evening downtown, but several roads are still blocked off as the investigation continues.
This is the time of year, Chris, where a lot of action starts to happen downtown. People wanting to get out and about, enjoying the spring weather. As you can see, this is the wide perspective as we zoom in. This is the location that those roads are actually blocked off, meaning all the other surface roads are going to be higher impacted because L Street and J Street on the north and south border of this, 9th on the west side, 13th on the east side. That is the area that is completely blocked off. Now, the other part of this, outside of even that K Street area, is right down on L Street. We've got the Golden One, of course, the Kings and Warriors playing there tonight. Tip-off was at 6. We've got our Kevin John, who is going to be live there in a little bit just to talk about the impacts there.